I don't remember a time when curling wasn't a part of my life. When I wasn't putting in the sweat and hard work to be the best that I can be. Clocking in the time, the effort to practice day in, day out. Curling is more than just a game. It's a family, a community. And when it's time to play, I know I'll be ready. Hardline, supporting hundreds of our next generation athletes.
We asked Saskatchewan what they know about 5G.
More speed, more innovation.
It's going to make our lives a whole heck of a lot easier.
This is what 5G looks like.
Better, faster.
Sounds like one more G. Sounds pretty good.
I don't know what it means.
All you really need to know is the future of 5G is here and will continue improving through investments in network technology.
Welcome to the RBC Dominion Securities Western Canadian Showdown. We are very proud to sponsor this event for our community and surrounding area. We wish everyone good curling and best of luck.
All right, here we go. RBC Dominion Securities Western Showdown. It's Kerri Einarson, Michelle Englot facing off here on sheet 3 of this fine Swift Current curling ice. Really consistent movement, consistent speed. There was an event one weekend ago here, a men's event that I played in, and the ice was stupendous. I'm sure it's just as good, even better for this event. I should introduce myself. My name is Rory McCusker. I'm with Curling Stadium. And is that Mr. Jim Nix I hear tuning into the room? Must be. I hope so. We've got Ms. Kaylee on the cameras, some moving cameras for everyone today.
Are you here?
Hi, Jim. Do you hear me? Hey, Jim. Looks like we'll have some rocks in play in this opening end. Which I am a big fan of. Not only for the viewers, of course it's better for us, but I think that the quicker you can start making the opponent throw some tougher shots. Hey, Jim, you got me?
Good morning to all of you. Jim Nix here with Rory McCusker. Just a little late getting going on my end here, so we're just early in the action here. 4 rocks start, 4th rock to come in this game. First round action between Einarson and Englot. It's actually the second game for Englot. She did play earlier today and did manage to win a game against Shirley Orsted, beat her 6-5. Einarson's first game in this event. You were at the Swift Current Curling Club for the RBC Dominion Securities. Brought to you here on Curling Stadium.
talking.
Hey, later. I gotta talk to James.
Okay. Hey, Jim, can you hear me now? Hey, Jim, can you hear me? Yeah, I can see Jim talking, but I cannot hear him.
How are we doing? Are we doing any better?
Hey, Jim, this is Rory.
Hi, Roy. How you doing? Sorry about that.
Perfect. You got me. That's fantastic.
So I started yakking away there a couple minutes ago when I got online finally here, and if that works for you, I'll just keep going and then we'll work it out.
Absolutely. No, we're getting into it here. This first, has there been a hit yet, Jim?
Yeah, that's great. All right.
This might be the first hit of the end. Yeah, I don't see any rocks in the corners.
No, it's very interesting. We don't usually see this much action in the first end. This morning's game as well. We had them. They started to play right off the bat, so that's good. Team Englot with hammer here.
I'm a big fan of that. Not just as an audience member, just getting into some good curling right away. Of course, that's always awesome. But I'm a fan of making your opponent throw harder shots sooner.
Yeah, for sure.
When you don't have hammer. All it takes is just that one tight center guard, and you're already getting your opponent to make something specific. You can bail at any time. And as we know in the first end, even if your opponent's line 2 early on, the chances of a double are pretty high. You're probably going to have a chance to make a double. So my opinion is, why not? Make it happen. Throw that center guard. Get your opponent throwing something more difficult off the hop.
Yeah, sure. And with the practice session that everybody gets now, there's not really any reason not to. It's I think it's just a thing, if you will, that people like. The idea that you like to have hammer in the second end is great if you're going to blank the first end, but it doesn't always happen either. So Einarson has Englot in some trouble here right now, early in the end, admittedly, but there are 3 red stones in and one Englot rock. And it looks to me.
So
go ahead.
I was just going to say, I end up knowing this Englot team pretty well. That's Ashley Williamson throwing second stones. I've curled with and against her all my life in Regina. Great player, consistently gets better every single year. Great team personality. Big fan. Big A-Dub fan.
So has this team been together for a little while, Rory, or is it pretty new?
In this iteration, I think it's been 3 years together, maybe 2. I know Michelle and Sarah have played together for more than that. I think Stephanie Schmidt was an add-on at a certain point. COVID scrambles my brain a little bit. Like I kind of forget who's together pre-COVID, post-COVID, during COVID.
Yeah.
Tough to keep track. But yeah, no, this is at least their second, maybe even third year together with this squad. With Sarah and Michelle playing together for a little longer than that as well.
Yeah, it was interesting. I did do a little bit of background checking on the Englot team and Michelle in particular, and she had retired from curling back, I think, in 2018, and then but only really was retired maybe not even a year, I'm not sure, and came back with a pretty young team that included Sarah England and a couple other players that I don't know, but that aren't on this team. But so it sounds like Sarah England and her, you're right, have played together a long time.
That's exactly right. Another unique thing about this team is Michelle, the skip, throwing lead rocks. So not super common. When
No.
was I think the first person I saw doing that was Margareta Sigfridsson of Sweden, if I'm not mistaken. Or was it a different Swede team that did this?
Yeah, I'm not sure. First person I ever saw do it was not at this level. Was my dad's team. My dad's team back many years ago. Their skip had gotten older, and my dad at that time wasn't that old, and I was probably 15 or 16, and they decided they would have a gentleman's name was Rolly Mockler out of New Brunswick, and they asked him to call the game, but to throw lead stone. So that's the first time I ever saw it.
It's not a bad system, especially at lead. When your skip is throwing third, when you're doing the Furby Netowin thing, it takes a little more time because you're setting the broom and skating down for 4 shots instead of 2.
Yeah.
But when you do it at lead, you can kind of just stay down there, and it doesn't end up burning a lot more time. And as we know, the kind of lead rocks are the most strategic rocks at this point.
Yeah.
That's where you're making most of your tactical decisions of how you want the end to go. So I actually find it fits pretty well.
Yeah. So moving along here, about a little over halfway through the end, third stone for Englot, which would be Stephanie Schmidt. Is that right? Just asking Roy because he knows, but he's got something going on right now, so we'll check it out. But anyway, she's going to actually play the yellow on red, potentially double. And will she get it out? Remains to be seen. Didn't quite get it out, but it does look a lot better than it did a few minutes ago this end for the Englot team. A lot less messy.
So I'll let our audience know. I am switching cameras and producing the stream right now. So if I get quiet for a little while, that's why. It's because there's some kind of technical issue here.
So it looks like Burchard's back playing with Einarson.
Yeah, that was causing quite a buzz on the old social media. I saw that when I woke up this morning.
Yeah.
Great to see her back. Nursing that injury, so must be ready to play again.
Yeah, she was off quite a while. It must have been halfway significant. Of course, you wouldn't want to come back before you're ready to come back, and otherwise you might lose the most important part of the year, but still, she was off quite a while. Still waiting for the regular fort to hear. I guess I haven't heard anything on that. It seems like the quietest story in the world, just whether or not Brianna Harris is going to make it back here this season or not. I haven't heard any more.
I think that is out of many. I think that is out of our hands. That is some kind of decision based on some official body that no one really knows.
Yeah, no, you're right. I don't know exactly how to, but it sounds like it's like a World Athletic Council or something like that decides this stuff, and for multi-sports, not just for curling, and the decision comes down to them. But they're taking their time on the appeal request, whichever way it goes. So I think I attributed the last shot for the Englot team to Stephanie Schmidt, maybe, but I believe this is Stephanie Schmidt throwing fourth stone. Is that right, Ryan?
That is correct. Yeah.
Okay. Got it. Get her straight here eventually.
Yeah, the semi-final losers of the Saskatchewan Provincial, so I guess you call that second runner-up.
Yeah.
Saskatchewan Provincial last year, so a strong team out of SK. But looking to find their next gear. Hasn't been the best season so far.
No.
But still have a good few weeks to a month left before that provincial playdown.
So working hard to hold this one. It looks like they'll be able to do that. Will they save it? Not quite, I don't think. No, it just rolls out for number 2. A tough break there. If that stops 3 inches less, then they're actually in really good shape here. But
yeah, unfortunately, late enough in the end, that shot, unless you're shot rock, it doesn't mean too much.
Yeah. So Einarson now play the out-turn draw. Try to put one in the button area.
Center guard has paid off. It's looking like a force if she can put this in the 8-foot.
Yeah, it was quite an adventure this Einarson team had gone through this year with so many different people filling in at second stone, and really not every event went well, but a number of them did go well with different players quite often, and it's not easy to do at this level. Any level, yes, but particularly here where it's so many more fine details that you need that you don't have with the non-regular player. So this looks pretty good. Coming in, should get behind the guard, no problem. Very nicely done.
That is textbook. It's pretty much where you would drop the stone if you could place it anywhere. It may have slid just a touch deep, and it's showing about a quarter on the intern side, but that's a great shot.
They're not going to try to go through that hole. They're going to play the run back.
Very interesting.
Well, it is given, especially that I did a game this morning too, and the ice here this week has got much more finish than we had last week. And nothing wrong with it last week, but it didn't have quite the finish that it has here. So I imagine they were working on rocks or whatever, but you could easily get to that stone. They were getting the stones in that position this morning, at least, and staying without any great degree of difficulty. So taking on a much more difficult shot, I think.
Yeah, geez. Jim, do you think they have a double in mind?
I have to believe that they do, yeah. I think it's and it would definitely be there, but yeah, it'd be tough to call it right now and tough to throw it the right speed and all that.
Here we go.
Pretty happy if she could get one here. She might be not too unhappy if she gave up one, but she's going to give up two.
Blows over the top. Nice camera work there by Kaylee, one of our Curly Stadium operators.
Great job. So we've got 2-0 lead for Einarson after one end of play here at the RBC Dominion Securities Western Showdown in Swift Current, Saskatchewan. We'll be back right after the break.
So with the impact to my business and income, will this delay my retirement?
I know you're worried, Marshall, but based on the original plan we came up with, you're only about 6 months behind.
I thought it would be years, not months.
You should feel good. Remember, you've got a plan.
Thanks.
With change comes questions. See the impact of your money decisions before you make them with RBC Wealth Plan.
Handcrafted in Canada, Hardline's ice pad has revolutionized curling for over a decade. Engineered with top-tier precision and durability, it is backed by an unmatched 10-year warranty. Designed for curlers at all levels to sweep effortlessly with maximum efficiency, it is trusted by the world's best curlers, including Olympic and world champions. It is quite simply the best brew in the game. Hardline. Join the revolution.
Stronger agronomics, better returns, greater peace of mind. From pre-seed to post-harvest, you can count on the Victory Canola program to keep you
minutes of 2 minutes of commercials. So we're back. Michelle Englot, skip of this team who throws lead stones for this team in the hack, delivering her first shot here in the second end. Not the way you want to start the game, Roy, with a 2-0 deficit. We were just discussing about the final shot, whether we might like to play that or not, and kind of question whether or not that was the best call in this situation.
If they were going for two, then that's forgivable. But if they thought that was their easiest way to get one, I definitely disagree with that.
Yeah, I would be on the same page. So Einarson's first rock went to the back of the 8-foot, and now she will throw one at the top of the 8-foot area, somewhere in that neighborhood. Englot with the corner guard up. Yeah, going to be just out front, which is fine as well. Like to have been on the center line, it's just off.
Ooh. Trying to get a little closer view there. I may have overdone it.
Okay. Englot now being asked to come around the sort of pseudo semi-guard there, center guard rather, just a little bit off center. Hard to use the corner now. According to looking at the overhead, it's going to be a little bit tough to get through there. But Englot. A little trouble with stop-start action on our end. You guys probably don't see it on your end, but so our calls are going to be a little bit off for a couple minutes here till we get that straightened out.
Yeah, just checking the stream now to see if it's lagging over there or whether it's just us, Jim.
Okay. So good looking shot here for Englot. Not as deep as she would have liked. She would have liked to have been into that 8-foot area. It's only top 12. It's possibly not going to help and possibly hurt you a little bit, but for now, it's early in the end, so we'll remain to be seen what happens here.
All right. It is chopping pretty good on the stream as well. So we do have quite a few people. It looks like 400 watching with us, Jim. So thank you very much for tuning in to Curling Stadium, everybody.
Yeah, a lot of interest in this event. It's a lot of the best teams in the country are here, and in addition to 3 other international teams. So, and on the men's side, same thing. We have most of the best teams in the country going to participate, and so it's going to be a great event. It's going to be a great weekend all along. We'll have all the games for you on Curling Stadium, and not all will have commentaries, obviously, but you will be able to see your favorite players and favorite teams play through.
This one's pretty special for me. Not only have we watched an event grow into a world-class event, certainly top 10 in Canada, like might even be top 5 outside of the Grand Slams. These are the best teams in the world. But one, it's really nice to see Chris Heikert's hard work pay off. He's worked really hard to make Swift Current a premier curling facility. And it's just, there's no way to cheat it. It's just hard work. You got to work the contacts, get the sponsors, get the best ice makers, get all the things in your club fixed up. There's just a million different things that go into creating a fantastic curling facility, and Chris has done it. The second thing is for Curling Stadium, this was one of our first sites. This is one of the first places where we installed cameras with this plan of we're going to stream some of these tour events, and people are going to be able to follow their favorite teams for free on YouTube. So I remember loading up the car with James Gordon, another Curling Stadium operator, and we went in there, we set mics up, and yeah, this is our first broadcasted event, was the Western Showdown. I think it would have been 2020. 2020 sounds right.
Yeah.
And so this is kind of a special one for us, and we're so happy that it's become what it has and where it is in the schedule. It seems like a really smart week in the year for this type of event, and yeah, just a really special one for us.
That's interesting. I didn't know any of that story, so that's kind of nice. What I did know about Chris Eichart was that he hasn't lost anything from his curling game while he was doing all this. I did 3 of their games last weekend, and boy, he played super good. Draw weight was just like magic for him, and he played very, very well.
Do not let him hear you say that.
No? Okay. Well, I hope he's not listed then. Chris, I hope you're working. They're not listed. Or he might be curling or not, but not yet. I think they're in the spiel, but they're not.
No, you're totally right.
Yeah.
Steve Laycock, Sean Meacham, Chris, and Braden Grandham have a great team. Really good team. They just made the final in the S3 event last weekend. Yeah, great guys and a fun team to play against.
Guard going up for Einarson here. A little bit dangerous here for Einarson. You know, if you ever were to miss this guard or leave a hole or something, Englot would have a chance to go through there and sit 3, but you're not likely to miss the guard to that extreme. So Val Sweeting.
Val, another one of my favorite curlers. Very down-to-earth person. Fun and funny to hang around the rink with. And she has helped us out at the Alberta Scotties doing some commentary. Very talented commentator as well. Not to mention one of the best thirds in the women's game in the world.
Yeah. And probably the best left-hander third in the world. Overcurled a bit. Can actually get to that red one, I think, with like a hack to board weight. I don't know if they believe you can yet, but I think you can. Opting to play the peel, it looks like now. Try to get both of those. Nothing wrong with that call either.
Yeah, I know it's painful. You gave up 2 in the first end, but it's really important to score here in the second, even if it's only 1 point. Got to make sure you get something on the board.
It is unfortunately when she did make the double, but did leave the shooter right there, so it does make placement of this guard a lot easier. But
It's essentially like you've only peeled 1 rock, but at least there's a yellow one up there now, I guess you could say. But
no, you're right. I agree. That's important. Sweeting being asked to put the guard back up. I'm guessing they'll probably try to keep it a little bit. Well, it depends on which camera you're looking at. A little right of the center line as we look at it here, but looks like it might be a little bit warm. Definitely a little deeper than they would have liked it.
yeah, slash is available on the high side. That's going to be a big shot if she can make it.
Yeah, these are the ones that you usually get 1 chance at this. When you get it, you have to make it. If you don't, you're not going to get it.
Looks close.
No, not quite.
The reward is still quite high for getting rid of that red one. Yellow being second and third shot. They have their multiple end kind of sitting right in front of them. It's just a matter of when they can make that double or that run back, or if Einarson leaves the door open. So Team Englot still lots to be excited about in this end, but they're running out of time.
Yeah, just a couple rocks each to come.
Just want to mention that we do check the chat. Thank you so much for participating in the chat. That's what makes this so much more special than just watching on TV, is that you, the audience, get to interact with us. So yeah, chime in. Tell us where you're watching from, who you're cheering for. If there's an interesting scenario, let us know kind of what your call might be. Let's do some armchair skipping in the chat, and I'll be sure to check it, and we'll address it on the air.
Sounds good. We had a lot of discussion this morning on the chat about the experimental blank end rule that's going to be used at the next slam.
I know they're trying to get creative with stuff like that. I definitely do not. I'm not a fan of the blank end rule. They'll test it at the slam, and we'll see what happens. But
yeah, Well, I like the fact that they have something like the slams to give it a try in and to check these things out and see if it's worthy or not. And the players, whether they all agree or disagree, tend to go with it and say, okay, we got it. We'll give it a try. There's been a couple of strange things over the years that obviously didn't work, and this is one that will be interesting to see if nothing else. So.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with giving it a try. I mean, I always remind people, 5 rock rule was an experimental. Was an experiment at one point, and here we are. What would we do? Where would we be without it?
Yeah, exactly.
So, there's been some failed experiments over the years, though. The cover the pin for 2 points experiment was pretty funny.
Yeah,
that was fun to watch. That one didn't really take hold.
No,
but nothing wrong with trying these things out. No, I was talking with Mike Harris, commentator for Sportsnet, about the double blank rule, and he just gave some examples of how that second end would go. So once you've blanked one end, and your opponent knows that you have to score in the next one, there's let's just say rocks are going in the rings. It's unless you're gonna take all the risks and throw corner guards and really lay things out for yourself. I'm not sure what else it's going to do besides just produce yet another boring end.
Got a chance here.
One.
Yeah.
Looks like they got it.
A great double by Schmidt. Or was that Schmidt that threw that one?
It must have been, yes.
I don't know how many. Yeah, we're good. Yeah. Yeah, good double. Kind of saw it and we didn't, but looking at it now, it's pretty easy to see what happened. Yeah, I think last thing I'll say on that one for now is that it's I like the fact they're trying it the way they are versus the idea of trying it with just no blank ends. I like you couldn't blank. You weren't allowed to blank. I couldn't see that work. I could see every end being, I think as Jerry put it at one point, boring, just in a different way, being boring. So yeah, I don't think that was a good idea. That changes the game too much. So this is sort of a 50% effort, and we'll see what happens. I don't know. It'll be interesting to see, anyways.
No, for sure. It's kind of 10 years too late on that one. Like back when a blank end was one of the most likely scenarios, like when you were getting many blanks every game.
Yeah.
Maybe throwing it in back then, but look at the scoreboard now. There's hardly any blank ends. I mean, sometimes in the first half of the game, if a team really chooses to play like that, you'll see a few, but blanks are more and more rare all the time. Doesn't seem to be the problem with curling right now, in my view.
Yeah.
Too many blank ends.
I think the ability to move multiple rocks so easily and frequently now is. And the players are good enough to make that happen, which is great. But that's the part that causes some of the whatever less exciting ends at times. But that's not all attributable to the fact that you're not allowed to blank an end, or blank 2 ends in a row. I don't know. We'll see. So Kerri Einarson throwing a hit here, hoping to make a double. If she makes a double, she'll still give up a couple of points, assuming the last shot is made. It'll be close to contact. Whether or not it gets to the right side or not, we'll see. It will not.
Unlucky.
Yeah, for sure. It's one of those, if you're trying to make that exactly like that, probably difficult to do. You'd hit it on one side or the other, but as soon as you're trying to hit it on one side or the other, it changes it. So Stephanie Schmidt now with a draw for 3 against Einarson here in the second end. Early stages in this event. We go right through till Monday. Be a lot of games between men's and women's. 6 sheets of ice. Should be going pretty steady. So early in the game, but a big shot. You don't want to let these ones get away. Just an open draw. You only have to hit the 12-foot. Sabres are leaning out of the bet. And nicely done by Stephanie Schmidt and Kerri Einarson. Michelle Englot's team will pick up 3 against Kerri Einarson here in the second end, take a 3-2 lead after 2 ends of play at the RBC Dominion Securities Western Showdown here in Swift Current, Saskatchewan.
We asked Saskatchewan what they know about 5G.
More speed, more innovation.
It's going to make our lives a whole heck of a lot easier.
This is what 5G looks like.
Better, faster.
Sounds like one more G. Sounds pretty good.
I don't know what it means.
All you really need to know is the future of 5G is here and will continue improving through investments in network technology.
Join us this March for the House of Hearts Charity Bonspiel in Duluth, Minnesota. Help raise funds for Project Joy, who provides meals for hungry kids in our community. Every donation helps to ensure no child goes hungry. Join us and make a difference. Together, we can spread joy.
Hey Ben, what's the Aztec Safety online e-learning website again?
Yeah, that would be aztecsafety.com.
Fire extinguisher and firefighting, we'll send that one to Paul.
Ah, now here's a course I should probably take. Conflict resolution.
Power line safety. Yeah, I thought it might help me with my line calls. Did you know this Aztec website has over 100 safety courses?
Jeez. Aztec Safety online course. Ground disturbance. Could have used that a few seconds ago.
So we're back for end number 3. A couple of pretty exciting ends in the first 2 ends. A lot of rocks in play, a lot more than quite often we see in the first couple ends of a game, eh, Roy?
Most definitely. Love it. 5 points in 2 ends. More of that. And just as we say that, no guards up with the third stone coming down.
Yeah, I know. I was thinking the same thing, but I thought I can't say that. Got to see if they give them a minute to change it up. Michelle Englot now will be throwing an out-turn takeout out here in the 12-foot. Haven't been out quite this far. For the most part, I think it's pretty straight out there. So Kerri's going to ignore that one. Go up with a corner. Kristen Karwecki. Normally the 5th player on this team. Well, normally, but it's been steadily the 4th player for the last probably year and something now. So
yeah, she's been getting lots of games in.
If you were a 5th player that wanted to play but couldn't get to play, she'd be living the dream. But if you're a 5th player that really didn't necessarily want to have to commit to playing all the time, she's out of luck. Michelle Englot now going to go with the center guard.
Yeah, it looks like we kind of saw a classic delayed corner strategy where Einarson was just trying to bide some time, move things away from the 4-foot. And it worked out pretty good for them. So you got a few options here. If you're Team Englot, you can throw the center guard like they're doing right now. You could try to throw one top 8, top 12 around the corner guard, just kind of choke off that path of where they're going to get buried. Or a third option is you could throw like an off-center guard. Yeah, kind of where they ended up here. Something that blocks the intern draw path around the corner guard.
Yeah.
But isn't a pure center in its own. It's kind of like a hybrid guard between a corner and a center guard. It's just all ways to counter your opponent trying to create up some offense.
Yeah, that's the shot that sometimes happens by accident, that cutoff guard. But this time they actually meant to put it right there. So
yeah, it's something my mom, who's kind of been off and on coaching my men's team, absolutely detests. She hates the choke off shot. I've been experimenting with it, and she makes a big note in red pen every game I do it. She hates it.
Well, we used to always say, especially if you didn't have hammer, don't be chasing around corner guards. But it doesn't always fall true for teams that are trying to be the best and are pretty good. It's not, you don't have the same fears going around those corner guards that we used to have before, when we were scared to death somebody's going to go behind the corner guard or go behind the T line or leave it open for a hit and roll or whatever. Worry too much about that. Now the team just says, well, we're just going to go there. We're going to make it. So they're not going to be able to do anything. It's like, yeah, okay. Yeah, you have a point. Anyway.
Just want to let the audience know the cameras are frozen right now. It is on purpose. We're resetting them to try and get rid of that lag. So should be back any minute here. There we go. Now we're left kind of guessing what would have happened, but...
Yeah, I don't...
3 rocks thrown per team.
Well, it looked like Einarson was going to go around when she first put the broom down, so we're going to assume maybe she came up a little... I don't know. Maybe she put it in the ring and didn't hit and roll out. But regardless, not a whole lot changed. So Englot's sitting 2 right now. 1 barely on the 12-foot. 1 at the back. Einarson with hammer. Going to go after this on the out turn because she can't maybe get around it on the in turn now. So I figure, well, I'll try it this way. And she could get the roll here. We'll see what happens. Okay, a little bit of a roll. Not enough to not be able to be removed. So Englot been around the game for a long time. So second rock thrower for Englot will be Ashley Williamson. And she's going to probably roll out, maybe, or will it hang around? No, it does roll out. So speaking of blank ends, I think that's entering Kerri Einarson's thoughts right now as a possible end to this result at the end of this end. Try to play this, maybe roll a little bit onto the rings to her right. Val Sweeting, third for Einarson. Curling a little more than I think she wanted it to. Does set up a corner, though, or sets up a double corner. So pretty good result. Englot, not much choice but to come around this. Doesn't look like a lot of ice for this shot, but maybe in there you might not curl quite as much as you get closer to the center. Girls must play. Going pretty hard now. Sneak it by and somehow keep it above the T line if you can. And it looks like once this stops. That's a very nice shot. Very well done. Probably could pick it out if you choose to do so. Not easy, though. Einarson having a look at a little split on this shot. Idea being if you could ever get both reds on, you'd be number 2, number 3. Wouldn't take a whole lot for you to be able to bring one of those into play.
Overall, a pretty good situation for Team Einarson. No danger down the middle, and a few rocks left to make something happen.
Yeah.
On the side here. That was not the miss, however. You did not want to miss light or inside like that.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely an over curl. We're really hoping to split that so you'd leave the yellow one exposed and perhaps have 2 reds on the rings. Indicating here a couple of options, I guess. You could split the house if you wanted to without last rock. I might want to try a little bit more aggressively to bring that rock, make that rock, the yellow that's in there, be the scoring point. Oops.
Yeah, what I don't love is coming right in. You're just so likely to leave a double or something for her to use. Splitting the house is probably the safe way to try and make a force, but
yeah,
right where Stephanie's got her broom right there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, Einarson will draw around it if you throw a guard. So that's I don't see how you make your situation the forfeit any better on the outturn side there. I think it's split all day in my mind.
Yeah. So outturn draw, just trying to just probably bite the forefoot on the other side would be good. Don't want to get too close to the other yellow one, just in case you're a foot short or something and the double becomes a possibility.
Yeah, the deep is the miss here.
Yeah.
If you leave a freeze, so be it. It's going to be wide open. You're going to be able to blast it.
Yeah, and your shot rock right now is pretty good. It's get to it, but it's not an easy rock to get to.
Apologies for the single view here. We're just working through some lag issues, trying to get the stream rolling as good as it possibly can, which means leaving the cameras locked off for now.
Okay. That's I'd say just about perfect for the shot that they called, the one that they ended up with. It's second shot, and it's behind your other yellow one, and really, realistically, to make the double would be a heck of a shot. And I don't know if you can get enough of the yellow to make the double, the high yellow. You could see another 2 inches of it, you could make it, but looks like she's going to just play to pick that out. Einarson looking to remove the yellow and just kind of roll to the center there somewhere, or maybe a little further than that. And would be hoping for a rollout maybe on the next takeout to give her a chance to get her deuce.
Yeah, all Englot's last shot does is make sure that she's lying too. It does leave the door open for Kerri to play what she wanted to play the whole time, which was a little tap freeze on the intern.
Yeah. Got to get it by first. I'm not going to get it by, I don't think.
Weight was pretty good. But no, it is Englot line 2, I believe.
Yeah, I think you're right, and it's that was very close though to them ending up being a super fortunate event. It was look for a minute there, it was going to end up with just freezing right on top of that yellow.
Super fortunate because you get the guard out of the way as well. Because if you freeze on the yellow and Englot kind of blasts it out, now you have your own semi-open hit for 2.
Yeah, true.
I wonder what this call is, if they're coming right in or not.
I
Not
think
sure
it's the same call. Same shot they just played, basically, Ryan. Just maybe a little bit shorter than that, maybe being just above the red rock. Couldn't be a guard because then you'd just leave that double for 3. That would not be wise. Kerri Einarson, certainly known for her ability to play hits. Looks to me to be a very similar shot to what she just played, just a little bit shorter.
Yeah. This is the second time, Jim, we've seen Team Englot just kind of give Stephanie the exact same shot she just threw. Like, not want to screw with anything. Just throw it again, and we'll be safe that way.
Yeah.
And it goes to basically the same spot. So the strategy's kind of working out.
Yeah, just an open hit for Einarson, but she's it's an open hit against 3, so hit it at all on the outside, you may not score.
Bit of a carve sweep. They got to get a little roll inside to get shot.
Looks, can't tell you. I got to waste that the end result right there.
Yeah, will not get there.
Okay, I never saw actually how any of that finished, so it just kind of froze up and blanked me out here a little bit. So not quite sure what happened there.
She hit a bit on the high side, couldn't quite get the roll. It is a steal of 1 for Michelle Englot.
Okay, so Englot will take a 4-2 lead after 3 ends of play, and we'll be back with you in just under 2 minutes.
I don't remember a time when curling wasn't a part of my life. When I wasn't putting in the sweat and hard work to be the best that I can be. Clocking in the time, the effort to practice day in, day out. Curling is more than just a game. It's a family, a community. And when it's time to play, I know I'll be ready. Hardline, supporting hundreds of our next generation athletes.
Saskatchewan, you know Sasktel because we're everywhere. Because being everywhere keeps us connected to you. With Sasktel sponsorships, we get to be part of your community. We're here with you, and we're here for you. It's easy to get started. All you need to do is apply. Sasktel cares. Always has, always will. To apply for sponsorship, visit sastel.com/sponsorships.
Back for end number 4, Gym Next with Rory McCusker. Here's Swift Current, Saskatchewan for the RBC's Dominion Securities Western Showdown on Curling Stadium. Thanks to everybody that's watching and hanging in there. Einarson hitting and rolling just slightly outside on her last shot and giving up the steal of 1.
Yeah, the difference so far, I would say, has been at second. The second stones, the rolls, and the draws have kind of went Englot's way, and ends up being Einarson chasing through the back end.
Yeah. So Einarson with a guard, corner guard, and a rock behind the corner guard. Englot can't do anything about it just yet, really, so she's going to throw a center guard on these two that are in the 8-foot. Just trying to make sure you guard the high one, prevent the double, although this looks like it's maybe going to come right in. Einarson down a couple. We'll be looking at ways to potentially develop maybe a 3 out of this end. If he's going to play the hit, could make the double and roll behind the corner. Have 2 of them behind the corner. Burchard will have the roll, but roll too far and actually roll out of the rings. It's not a great result for Shannon Burchard. But not terrible either. So the peel goes up on the corner guard for Englot. Try to peel the single corner, and she will do that. Einarson suspect will put it back. Go to the wings, but up to the
Yeah, I mean, they've got 3 rocks in the rings. It's been a pretty good end in that way.
Oh, for sure, yeah. Yeah. Potential double here for Team Englot, though.
Yeah, Stephanie Schmidt's first stone. So
yeah,
we'll have 2 cracks at eliminating the 3.
This would be a pretty good opportunity here. They're only separated by about 3 feet, so they're 3 or a little more, maybe 4 feet at most. And for Stephanie Schmidt, throwing the 4 stones for Team Englot, good chance to maybe make this double and get out of this with no worse than 2. Pretty clean. Try to hold it out there. Now looking at the double the other way.
Whoa.
And she will make that.
Just considering the sweep there, Jim, like that wasn't what they were calling all along, was it?
No, I can't imagine they were, but they sure weren't. Yeah, you're right. They weren't sweeping like they were trying to make the other double.
Yeah, it's
But I agree with you. It's either that or she was definitely tight at the very start and And Michelle made a quick judgment to say, we're not going to make that one, so let's go for this one. That's possible. But she looks like she throws it pretty straight, so I thought she was going to be bang on. I couldn't figure out why they were sweeping myself. Kerri Einarson now will play the hit on the open one. Try to sit in a way, a little inside roll or outside roll, I guess you'd call it, behind the corners would be fine here. Don't really want to roll it back towards your own at all, although that looks like that could happen. Oh, ouch would be probably the word that comes to mind in that shot. It's Stephanie Schmidt with a very, very simple looking double right on the center line to force Kerri Einarson to take one.
Yeah, that's one of the worst spots you could have rolled to there.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So right on the nose or just a slightly past nose would be good here. You do want to stay because Einarson would have a crack at scoring 2 if you roll out on this. Is it going to curl enough? But did not.
Yeah.
So not a good miss for Stephanie Schmidt. That was, for her standards, I'm sure, a pretty simple rock to hit on the nose and score or force to 1. And now she's looking at a double for Einarson and a 3.
Yeah, if anything, get that on the center line side, so at least you shred the reds.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it really wasn't
an overthrow, not the right miss for the time there.
Absolutely, yeah. It was not good at all. It really was never really close to staying either. So now Kerri Einarson, just out of nowhere, has basically a nose hit. Well, not quite nose. I guess maybe she has to get slightly inside, but pretty much nose. Hit for 3. Contact really gets you 2. So it's definitely worth this shot. Got Ricky sweeping a little bit. Should be really close. And she will make this for a score of 3. And like I said, out of nowhere, Michelle Englot gives up a 3 here to Kerri Einarson. Einarson will take a 5-4 lead to the break. And we will return right after this break.
Hey Ben, what's the Aztec Safety online e-learning website again?
Yeah, that would be aztecsafety.com.
Fire extinguisher and firefighting, we'll send that one to Paul.
Ah, now here's a course I should probably take. Conflict resolution.
Power line safety. Yeah, I thought it might help me with my line calls. Did you know this Aztec website has over 100 safety courses?
Jeez. Aztec Safety online course. Ground disturbance. Could have used that a few seconds ago.
For over 20 years, the Sandra Schmirler Foundation has granted more than $9 million to hospitals across Canada for life-saving equipment for premature and critically ill babies. In the past 4 years alone, $4 million has been granted thanks to the curling community's incredible generosity. The need continues year-round, and with your help, we can ensure every baby has the chance to grow up and become a champion, just like Sandra.
We asked Saskatchewan what they know about 5G.
More speed? More innovation?
It's gonna make our lives a whole heck of a lot easier.
This is what 5G looks like.
Better, faster.
Sounds like one more G. Sounds pretty good.
I don't know what it means.
All you really need to know is the future of 5G is here and will continue improving through investments in network technology.
So, teams finished the fourth end break here. Didn't take very long. And we're about to get started with Kristen Karwicki, lead for Team Einarson. Already having thrown one rock. Short. Obviously, Englot came around. Top 4 foot. Karwicki's second one here. Needs to curl a bit. Probably needs to curl a lot to get to where she's looking for it to be, but starting to move over. Not bad.
Pretty wild and wacky game so far.
It has. It has. 5-4 after 4. It's quite a few points. Missed a potential blank end a couple hands ago. We might have been able to have one, but we didn't get one. Not sure of the call. I have to assume she's going right around on this. We didn't really get to see that part. Team Englot only trailing by 1 here in the fifth end, but it probably feels worse than that just after giving up the 3 when it looked like they were going to be able to just give up 1. That's a tough shot. Let's see where it stopped. Wow, it's certainly a more challenging way to get to there than the intern, but ended up there. It's a pretty good spot. The center guards are a problem, though, for Team Englot here. And they are Einarsons. In both cases, the rocks up front are, or I guess one's not out front, one's in the rings, but are both Einarsons. Shannon Burchard being asked to potentially make the run back. She's not going to quite get there. Moved everything.
Never mind.
Yeah, take that back. It just, you say, as we're fighting our way through a little bit here and what we see, and I didn't see all that happening until it was already done.
Yeah, must have just curled up and sent one of the kind of shallow guards back as well.
Yeah. Englot's still sitting 1, though, drawing to sit 2. Maybe not exactly where you want to play the end with hammer, but you got to go with what's out there. You want to keep this one as high as you can. And that should be fine. Top 4 foot, it's a pretty good spot. Be a little shorter, might have been a little better, but it's not bad. Einarson now will ask Shannon Burchard to freeze to that one.
Little bit light.
Yeah, in fairness to Shannon, I don't know how much she's been able to throw in recent times, but when you're off as long as she's off, it's going to take probably a little while to kind of get the feel back.
No, I know. Just with the second rock in the back 12, and perhaps even that biter and the back there, getting into the rings was huge there.
Yeah. Yeah. So looks like a draw to the open side for Team Englot.
Yeah, and as long as they don't leave a double, it's going to be a big decision for Team Einarson. Do you keep trying to make that freeze down the middle and save your end that way? Or do you try hitting? I think it's a little too late. Oh, both teams coming up light. My goodness.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a big miss as well. You're just trying to hit the house. That's, ideally you get it in the perfect spot, but anywhere in the house is pretty good with where it was going to be that far over. So looks like
we did find
this draw.
Last weekend, we did find that the ice was usually a touch slower going away, like sometimes up to half a second slower.
Oh, okay.
Not sure if that's affecting the teams at this point.
No, may well.
About a quarter second to a half second slower going away.
Yeah. So Val Sweeting now attempting the same freeze. This one looks pretty good.
That is an end-saving shot.
Yeah, it certainly takes at least 1 point out of play, that's for sure. Englot going to try to kind of corner the red from the other side. Just sit on the edge of it, somewhere where it prevents Kerri from making the double, but yeah, it gives you a chance maybe to eventually play the yellow on the red.
It's got a long way to curl here.
A little bit heavy. I think you want to make sure you get by yours if you want to be there, and it is.
Yeah, leaves no double. Actually ends up being a pretty decent spot.
Yeah, not bad. I think Einarson has to kind of move it. I don't think she can. Great shot would be to sit right on it, but I don't know if that's worth the try or not here. Whatever they've decided, they have decided. So we will see in a second. So it looks like a board weight hit. Val Sweeting. Val will be Val's intern. A little bit tight on the slide coming out, but you might have got back out there. Barely.
Just barely.
Yeah, it's interesting now because now what do you do when you're Englot here? Do you play to hit this on the nose? If you do, you do run the risk of possible double.
It was so close to disaster. If that ticks the top guard or really any of those rocks on its way down, really bad situation for Team Einarson. But since it did get by, it ended up in just the right spot.
Yeah, very nicely done. So Englot trying that similar shot. She's going to hit it on the nose. Looks like Kerri Einarson's going to try that same thing, which would leave her rock in a very good place, actually. If she could ever hit this and just even roll an inch or two towards the center, may force Englot into guarding a rock that they don't want to guard if they're not able to remove it easily. Kerri's not taking a lot of ice either, so she's not planning on throwing this at too soft of a weight.
3:53 p.m.
Oh, go away. Kerri Einarson. Out-turn hit. It's out there a long, long ways. Gonna get about a half a rock. Probably gonna roll out. And she will. Not roll out, but roll over to the side. Stephanie Schmidt now will be asked to play the draw around that. Rocking the top of the 4 foot. Tough shot only in that sometimes if you make it really good, it could turn out not to be really good, because if it goes, I guess really good wouldn't be really good if it was behind the tee line, but if it does slides by the tee line by anything at all, and if it's mostly buried, you'd force Kerri Einarson to throw the draw, and if she makes it good, she's going to take the whole end away, but she would have to make it good.
Yeah, at this point, not a ton of risk for Team Englot. Like, you'd have to leave one right on the back of the button to be frozen too.
That's not very close. So significantly short for Stephanie Schmidt. Kerri Einarson now will play that same out-turn draw, try to come by the guard pretty tight and get maybe a piece of the button. Burchard and Karwicki on the brooms. Starting to curl pretty good now. Has it got the right weight, or is it a little bit warm? Well, it's a little bit warm, and actually gives Stephanie Schmidt a nice little bit of backing if she needs it.
Yeah, that's not the right miss. Probably one of the worst places you could have put that rock.
Yeah, and it looked like they were trying to get it back further when they were at the end there, but just not quick enough to get it back there. Stephanie Schmidt, well light on the first one, probably will tend to be a little bit up on the second one, so maybe that's going to come into play, that rock at the back of the 4 foot, the red one. You definitely aren't going to throw it to there on purpose, but it could happen. So a draw for 2 for Team Englot. And fourth stone thrower, Stephanie Schmidt. Looking to take a lead here after 5 ends of play. Sweepers are not doing much, so it must be close. Will it curl enough? May not. And it holds on. So nice draw by Stephanie Schmidt. Englot will pick up 2 and take a 6-5 lead after 5 ends of play here in Swift Current, Saskatchewan at the RBC Dominion Securities Western Showdown on Curling Stadium. We'll be back right after the break.
So with the impact to my business and income, will this delay my retirement?
I know you're worried, Marshall, but based on the original plan we came up with, you're only about 6 months behind.
I thought it would be years, not months.
You should feel good. Remember, you've got a plan.
Thanks.
With change comes questions. See the impact of your money decisions before you make them with RBC Wealth Plan.
Handcrafted in Canada, Hardline's ice bat has revolutionized curling for over a decade. Engineered with top-tier precision and durability, it is backed by an unmatched 10-year warranty. Designed for curlers at all levels to sweep effortlessly with maximum efficiency, it is trusted by the world's best curlers, including Olympic and world champions. It is quite simply the best brew in the game. Hardline. Join the revolution.
So we're back here now.
Still in commercials.
Okay.
No. I don't know what the hell's happening.
It's just one not working. It'll finish up shortly.
Okay.
Besides, you guys definitely have a harder job than we do with this stuff. All we gotta do is talk. Well, we're back here for end number 6 in what was really kind of an up and down game. I don't know if we're on or not. Okay. So we're good to go. And we are in end number 6 here in this match between Kerri Einarson and Michelle Englot in kind of what's been a bit of a struggle for both teams at times, particularly that 5th end was up and down. So with another lead change in the fifth end, with Englot going up 6-5. Kerri Einarson will have hammer here in number 6. She had a corner guard up and had one behind it, but Englot was able to move it a little bit. And there's now 2 yellows on the back of the forefoot, which, to be honest, do not help her a whole lot, but do help Kerri Einarson probably a little bit here in the 6th end. Looks like executed pretty nicely by Shannon Burchard. We talked a little about Shannon being off with injury for quite a while. Good to see her back. She's one of the best female second stones in the world for sure, and a key part of this team. If you recall, this team when they put it together was really 4 skips, and a lot of people didn't think it would work at all. Had no chance of working, and it didn't. Only until they won 4 Canadian championships in a row, and it became obvious that maybe it did, after all, work.
Yeah, the whole 4 skips thing. Curling is so versatile now. To be a high-level curler, you sort of know how to play every position. Like, are you going to be the best sweeper? No. Are you going to be the best skip? No. But the way curling is now, and you even see it with mixed doubles, players are more versatile than they used to be.
Oh, absolutely. I think ability-wise, talent-wise, and all that, it's more about whether or not everybody's headspace can be in the right place, I think, in that situation. And obviously, if you're the right combination, it can work. Certainly worked for this team and still continues to work for this team. And despite their troubles with getting a lineup to be regular this year. So Einarson now playing the outturn freeze to the yellow at the back. She could have played this shot when there were 2 yellows at the back of the forefoot, but wasn't totally comfortable with that, so opted to wait till now, and that's a very good shot. Frozen perfectly. Chance for Englot to play the hit and big roll.
Yeah, here in the 6th end, it's even though we've seen some high scoring. Really, it is important that Einarson just scores a single point here, and with no center guards in play and not a lot of danger in the rings, they're looking good to do that. So it's kind of a free end to try some rolls and some freezes and see what you can create, knowing that Kerri's going to have a more or less open shot on her last one. Just still trying to iron out our technical difficulties here. We have a long weekend to go, and we want to make sure everything's running smoothly on this Thursday, so that Friday and Saturday and Sunday and Monday can work perfectly. It looks like the video feed's working pretty good, and now we just got to get the rest of our stuff figured out. So apologies for the choppiness in the stream, folks, but it's all this is a pretty regular thing with our events. Very first day, some bugs appear and we have to iron them out. Friday, we usually get a little better, and then by Saturday and Sunday, things are running quite smooth.
It's just like ice making.
It's a lot like ice making in that way, yeah.
We hear that a lot with ice making when the guys are trying to, we got the best ice makers in the world and they do amazing jobs, but sometimes that first day or so is all about trying to get it figured out, and you have to play through a little bit of roughness in the not literal roughness, just conditions that aren't quite what they're going to be for that first day or day and a half till they get a couple of draws and get it figured out. That includes me, who managed to put my computer on some kind of airplane mode or something there for a couple minutes. I don't even know how you do that. Anyway, so big end, as you mentioned, big end for both teams to score here. Englot could be in a very good position if she could manage to steal one here, and Einarson has to steal one here to be back on the even ends and be in a good position for these last couple of ends coming up.
Having trouble seeing who threw that rock. Was that Val's last one? Yes, it was.
Yeah.
So line 2, pretty far apart. A 10-foot double if they're ever to try and take it on, and that back one's going to take a lot of convincing to get out of there. So pretty good spot for Team Einarson right now.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think that it's a very, very tough double. If you were full of good nerves, you could come around it on the in-turn, and even if you went right to the back one, take them both away. But you're going to hit this one, which is not surprising.
Jim, what do you think the perfect situation in the back of the house is here? Do you think you try to send this red to unlock the frozen stones in the back? Or do you think that's too risky? You might jam it.
Yeah, definitely risky. Definitely carries a bit of risk for sure. But I think I'm still going to try to probably free that one up if nothing else. So I might be able to double it on the next shot, and I might kick myself afterwards. But I don't. It's either that or wait, you hit it right on the nose basically, and just miss the back one and leave yours right there, or just pick it out. But I don't like the picking it out thing. I think you're going to be in trouble. So I would give it a go. It's got to curl a little more, I think. I'm going to find out anyway.
Clips the yellow first. That red's got to leave. Doesn't leave the rings, but 3 yellows shot over it. You got to think that's going to be enough.
Yeah, I would agree. Trying to think where that one hit. Did that have to come up a little bit more, or did that have to come up less? Must have had to. Not sure. So Einarson does have to move that yellow one a little bit. And it's a little bit slightly overburied, but I'm sure you can get to it. Kerri Einarson throwing this. This looked like she might have just set this back a little bit.
Yeah, we could see it through that really good camera angle. It's a nice zoom-in shot from Kaylee there. You could see Kerri's big set back towards the center line. Trying to get this to curl, Jim. It's also kind of heavy.
Just rub it.
Back of the rings.
Wow.
Not good. It's not shot. and it leaves a way to remove both of those reds if they so choose. Might not be worth taking on, though.
No, it's no, because if you don't move the other one far enough.
Oh, you'll still be line 2, Jim, with no double.
Yeah.
Hard to lose if you're Team Englot right now, or sorry, actually, bad terminology. Hard to screw this up, this particular shot, if you're Team Englot. Really, it's not super important even to remove any stones. As long as your yellow one is second shot, you're gonna pretty effectively force Kerri to 1.
Yeah. Yeah, you just don't want to. You just don't want to
probably
wiggle
get one of these.
You don't just want to hit just like if you hit a third or something and you don't necessarily get rid of everything and sit right there. You gotta just make sure you hit half of this rock and you're gonna be fine.
Anything from half to a nose hit is gonna be perfectly acceptable. Yeah. Nice, easy control weight. Love to see that. Let the sweepers do their work. Looks really, really nice.
That should be good.
And there it is. Shot to force 1.
Yeah, it didn't look like that would be the outcome of this end for sure, the way it was going early. So Kerri Einarson now have to draw not quite 4 foot, but she'll try to hit it, put it on the button, and get her 1 point, be tied up after 6. Been a very close game throughout. It's been a little spotty in places, but again, same situation where the teams are first time out, and Sweepers on this one fairly hard. And gotta go. Kerri all on top of them, so will they get it there? And looks like they will. So great sweeping job on that. That was no room to spare on that one. And Kerri Einarson will pick up her single here and tie this one up at 6 after 6. Take a short break and be back for the last couple of ends.
We asked Saskatchewan what they know about 5G.
More speed, more innovation.
It's going to make our lives a whole heck of a lot easier.
This is what 5G looks like.
Better, faster.
Sounds like 1 more G. Sounds pretty good.
I don't know what it means.
All you really need to know is the future of 5G is here and will continue improving through investments in network technology.
Hey Ben, what's the Aztec Safety online e-learning website again?
Yeah, that would be aztecsafety.com.
Fire extinguisher and firefighting, we'll send that one to Paul.
Ah, now here's a course I should probably take. Conflict resolution.
Power line safety. Yeah, I thought it might help me with my line calls. Did you know this Aztec website has over 100 safety courses?
Jeez. Aztec Safety online course. Ground disturbance. Could have used that a few seconds ago.
So 2 ends to go here in opening or early round action, I should say, since the Englot team has already played once. Early round action here at the RBC Dominion Securities Western Showdown. We are in Swift Current, Saskatchewan, at the Swift Current Curling Club. And you're watching this on Curling Stadium. And we have a 6-6 tie between Michelle Englot and Kerri Einarson. Englot having hammer here in 7. Sweepers took Kerri Einarson's last shot in the last end, right from the time she let it go till it stopped, and managed to get it there for 1 point, which was a very, very big point indeed in the 6th end. So kudos to them.
Was.
So how do you approach this end, Rory? Do you approach this end if you're let's pick one first. Let's pick Englot first, and how are you going to approach this end with hammer?
Well, we haven't seen anything close to a blank yet, so I doubt we're going to see one here. She's playing to the middle. That the red guard's quite low, so I think the idea is you'll be able to run it back if anything gets in too much trouble. But yeah, just let Einarson do the hard work and basically just don't let her force you early on into the forefoot. So
yeah,
I think Englot's rock is at a perfect distance, just nibbling the forefoot, giving her lots of room to kind of score her 2 beyond that.
Probably the harder choices if you're in Einarson's position and you don't have hammer, you've got to basically go hard enough to force them to 1 without forcing them to 2, as they say.
Yeah, usually a guard and a few rocks in the rings does the trick.
Yeah.
After that, you can switch gears if you wish.
So Michelle Englot throwing lead stones for Team Englot. Coming right around here. Going to try to get right to the red one. Looks like it's going to be very good. Nicely done. Stephanie Burchard now will be asked to play that same draw, that freeze to the yellow.
Bit of the heavies here. That's a few shots in a row.
Yeah, that's not helpful, that one. Well, the team trying to decide where they want to go with this once they hit it.
Yeah, these are always so tempting, so strange when you have hammer. You know that you're playing to the middle. You know that you're putting rocks in the back of the forefoot. These are all no-nos when you have hammer, but just, it's so tempting to lie 2 or 3.
Yeah, I know. You can be your own worst enemy in this situation.
So many rocks left.
This one's not going to be great, though. She's going to probably remove her own. Does.
Really not good. That was their best stone in the rings that they just took out.
Not quite sure what happened there, so you have to assume she was just inside the broom. Kerri Einarson just had a kind of a gift on that one. And with so many rocks back there, if you can make a freeze in there now, if you're Einarson, you're going to be in a decent position, even though we're only halfway through. But Burchard trying to play basically that same shot. Be a little bit light, maybe. It's quite light. And we'll try to peel both cards. And make some of these shots 100%, not just like 80%, and they'll be okay. They really like to not leave anything there, but this is going to over curl and leave at least one, probably a red one, and it does.
Not a great trade there at second rocks for Team Englot.
No.
The way second stone started and the way they ended.
Yeah.
Not pretty.
So Einarson now playing the outturn come around. Same shot you just called a minute ago. Try to go in there and sit on that yellow. As the end goes on and you get more opportunities to do this, if you can make it, there's a better and better chance that you're going to either steal one or push to one. Pretty hard on this one as well. This one's going to be light as well. Lines up pretty nicely though, if you ever had to use it. Well, we've gone probably 4 or 5 shots now without anybody actually making one, so we're kind of due for a good one here.
Yes, we are. And lots of really juicy opportunities too. Like if these shots are made,
this one's going to be
a long way.
Wow.
Even worse pocket.
Yeah, we hate to be so critical, but man, these are shots that these teams just shouldn't be making so poorly and missing on the wrong side so many times. It's just, you're leaving the other team most of the time in a better situation than before you threw it, and that just shouldn't happen on what are pretty much regular open draws. So another chance.
Yeah, whether or not they have good excuses or not, just objectively, the game is coming down to these situations and an inability to take advantage a few times in a row. It stings. I've been on the ice. I've been there.
Yeah.
I know how that feels. It looks like another super heavy draw.
Yeah, I don't know. So another great opportunity for Englot, a really good opportunity here. She can make this shot roll 1 foot in behind the guard. It's going to really be difficult on Einarson to escape this end with less than 2.
You know what? I'd still say it's advantage Einarson. Like the scoring area is so clustered in the middle. Like unless Sarah makes this perfect, there's still going to be a freezer tap to set up a pretty good force. They're on this pretty hard. Gets the hit, makes a roll. It's pretty good, Jim. Just a little too far of a roll.
Yeah, it rolled. Yeah, just rolled a half rock too much, and as a result, has left Kerri not an easy shot, but definitely an escape route a little bit here. So,
yeah,
where if it rolls a foot less or so, it doesn't really leave her much at all. Looking for just a little less ice. Kerri Einarson looking to make a good one.
Yeah, you can just feel the game kind of coming down to these shots.
It's got pretty good line if it's got enough weight to get there. It looks light.
Just a bit, yeah. Sweepers didn't really key in on that until it was almost too late.
Yeah, I thought that too. At first I thought, well, it must be okay because they're not really going that hard. Good thing about that is that shot had happened a few shots ago. It would have been in a great place and been able to do something maybe with it.
Oh, exactly.
Now what do? Do you take the chance of leaving it there? I'm not sure you can do that. But removing it's not going to be easy. Sometimes they put the broom there. It's like, well, if we could get here, it'd be good. Yeah, but like, can you get there? It's a bigger question, right? If you play the intern here and you don't quite get to where they're tapping here right now, and even maybe if you do, then Einarson could tap that red one up and take the whole thing away from you. So I'm not sure. I like the idea of moving the red one. You just got to have confidence enough to throw it. Because if you make it wrong, do it wrong, it's not going to be well at all.
Yeah, this is one where you're just kind of crossing your fingers and hoping that they let you get away with two here. Like you're almost just trying to fast forward the end and say, hurry up and just let me cash this in.
I always thought you should be able to negotiate that when you get down to last about 4 rocks to go. Say, okay, well, we're willing to give you 2. You take 2. It's like, yeah, we'll take 2.
I mean, in those situations, Jim, if both teams agree, someone's screwing up.
Yeah,
someone's got it wrong.
Yeah,
that's a bad deal for someone.
Yeah. Would you ever in a million years consider just guarding this rock?
On your first one, you'd feel so dumb if they ended up making something on their next one and you blocked your own way.
I know it would feel wrong, but of course, if you did, Einarson probably playing the double raise there anyways, and you might end up with something.
If you wanted to get really greedy, maybe you'd look at like an intern kind of draw tap. I don't really know what that does for you though.
Anyway, let's see what happens.
Stephanie Schmitz had some struggles earlier in the game, but if she can string a few together here, it's going to go a long way for her team winning this game.
A good chance here. This might be a great shot.
Yeah, really, really good spot.
That's a dandy.
You can raise that rock any direction now without too much danger of crashing the guard. Einarson's going to try to tuck one on the intern here, but you're always going to have an out-turn slash at it.
Yeah, she's got to feel good about that shot though, because you're right. She's had a few misses. Well, they all have, but she's had the skips for sure. Have had a few misses that are that you're not going to feel great about. So that was a dandy, that one. That's not an easy shot to throw. You just don't see. It's hard to see good thoughts on that shot. Like you got to try to do it, but it's hard to see a good result. Sometimes you just say, "Geez, I'm 2 inches, 1 inch outside. We're in big trouble there." Einarson, this is a tough shot. I'm not so sure that she can get shot here or even cut them down to 1.
Doesn't look like it.
No.
With just the right curl, maybe she can lie second. Seems like more of a shot to lock away any chance at 3, but the out-turn tap is always going to be there.
Yeah. So Karwicki going on this pretty hard now. This is curling a lot. She's going to be in the neighborhood of where she wants it. Just a matter if she can get over far enough.
Line looks really good. Tap, tap. Oh, you're right, Jim. just couldn't quite get second shot.
Yeah, that was a great effort by Kerri Einarson. That was not easy at all.
No.
So now
really good effort.
Yeah. So now Stephanie Schmidt with a chance to play. She could play the cold draw to the edge of the button, or she can play the tap. I don't know which one's the right one to play, and I'm not sure which one she's got here. This looks probably like the tap. I don't think that's the right ice for the draw. You'd have to be at the edge of the 8 or a little bit further than the edge of the 8 to make the draw. So obviously playing a tap.
Yeah, I'm not calling this easy, Jim, but it's super makeable. Like,
yeah,
you do have a lot of forgiveness. You can be a little thin and come off the red. You can basically tap it right on the nose, and that'll still catch a lot of the buttons. So the line here, not super important. Just gotta make sure that weight is good.
No, and you're, as long as you don't hit it too thin, then it's your yellows aren't really going anywhere because you're only going to throw back 4 foot at this thing. So
no, yeah, it would take a big miss to take points off the board here. So basically a free crack at 3.
So obviously
on it right away.
Yeah, girls are on it pretty good, so it's not heavy, I'm sure.
You can see it from this angle. It wants to curl. The sweeper's doing a great job of holding it.
This looks very good, and what a shot. So Stephanie Schmidt with a couple of pistols here in the 7th end led her team to a score of 3 and a commanding 9-6 lead for Team Englot over Team Einarson. Didn't really see that happen in that end,
That's a huge sweep from front end. Yeah.
Great job. So we'll take a break, and then we'll come back for the potential final end here in this game between Einarson and Englot at the RBC Dominion Securities Western Showdown.
Stronger agronomics, better return, greater peace of mind from pre-seed to post-harvest. You can count on the Victory Canola program to keep you.
I don't remember a time when curling wasn't a part of my life. When I wasn't putting in the sweat and hard work to be the best that I can be. Clocking in the time, the effort to practice day in, day out. Curling is more than just a game. It's a family, a community. And when it's time to play, I know I'll be ready. Hardline, supporting hundreds of our next generation athletes.
Sasktel Be Kind Online wants to stop cyberbullying. Want in on the action? We award up to $1,000 for youth initiatives that help spread kindness and prevent bullying. What great idea do you have to help stop bullying? Sasktel can help. Go to BeKindOnline.com and apply for a grant today. Together, we can make a difference.
So one end to go here in our game between Englot and Einarson, and certainly a 3-ender that we didn't really see coming. Rory, I think that's fair to say for either team.
No, it looked like a kind of force down the middle type end, and then we saw like 5 or 6 misses in a row, really, is what set that up.
Yeah, it took a long while before anybody took advantage of that at all. And And Stephanie Schmidt with a couple of great shots and some really good sweeping on her front end managed to pull out the 3. So Einarson now trailing by 3 here with 3 rocks down in the final, what could be the final end and 8th end, regardless. And yeah, they got some work to do to try to tie this one up and force an extra end here.
Well, here's my first surprise call. They're only throwing 1 corner, coming around their single corner, not throwing 2 corner guards. Slightly surprised by that being down 3.
Yeah, I'm surprised too. The only thing I can think of is they look at the yellow that's just off the center as a potential guard for them, I guess, and so if you do that, then you might feel like, okay, we have 2 guards out there to work with. But
well, we'll take a look and see how much Team Englot can see of this rock, because if they can chase it, geez, it's not very good at all.
Yeah.
And they will not. So, that decision to not throw 2 corners, not super consequential, because the next rock from Englot would have been a peel. But this one looks like they're not chasing a redstone. So they're going to get away with it.
I thought they would go after that one at the back. I don't, I know that's not one of the rocks that's going to hurt you, but it's one that can score. And I don't really see that you need another rock in the middle of the house here somewhere. So that would have been the right weight for it. Anyway.
A bit heavy.
Yeah.
So Einarson with a mess to work with. This is kind of her trademark. She's one of the best skips with rocks in play at creating offense. So game on. We'll see some fun calls, I'm sure.
Shannon Burchard now with her first rock in 8. And probably Shannon's first competitive game maybe in the season. I'm not sure when she went down. I don't think she's played at all this year, has she? I don't believe so. But anyway, yeah. This one looks pretty good. Weight should be there. He's on. Good shot. Tried to hold it so they wouldn't be on the overcurl side of it, but it's still pretty good. Michelle Englot, though, has a chance at making a double here.
Yeah, and now the Boomer Express leaves the station. This should be, if all goes to a normal kind of 8th end situation, it should be 5 hits in a row coming down the ice here.
Yeah, she's going to hit the high one, which she didn't plan on hitting. But
if you're trying to defend against 2, that's a bit of a mistake. Defending against 3, nothing too wrong with that. As long as you have an open red to hit from now until the rest of the end is over. Shouldn't hurt you too bad.
No.
Now Einarson will use her corner guard.
You have a fairly natural double set up with the 2 reds that are in there right now. It's not a real difficult double. Well, Sweeting going down to have a look. Look in the chat. With 5 rocks to come, I don't know if you have enough guards set up out there yet, really, to be able to run this through from here.
So they will be playing to their own. They've decided that the double is too juicy to leave Team Englot, so they'll need to rearrange stones. Hoping to tap and roll on the high side, it looks like.
Yeah.
Sweep it hard to keep this on the high side. You know, double still exists, but not quite as easy.
No, that's an interesting call. I would not have thought of them playing that shot at this point, but
well, to count that back red one, they need those yellows to go at some point, right? So
yeah,
they're taking it on sooner than later, and I think they realized the shooter double was just a little too easy. So here comes Sarah with a hit and roll.
Good chance at a double one way or the other here, and she does make the double on that side.
That's a huge shot. Big shot. Leaving only 2 rocks in play for Team Einarson, one of them in the rings. So as the math goes, there should be, as long as Stephanie makes a peel on her first one, there should be an open hit to run Team Einarson out of stones.
Yeah, exactly.
By the end of the game.
This one looks fine. I'm going to bury it. The depth doesn't matter too much right now. The only way they can... Well, okay.
Oh, hate this call. Now, I understand why she wouldn't want a straight peel. It means that Schmidt would have to make a double on one of her 2.
Yeah, that's true enough. Yeah.
Which you're going to have 2 cracks at. Like, there's nowhere in the rings that Kerri could put a stone where that isn't going to leave some kind of double.
Yeah.
Might be fairly long. You know, I still think a straight peel is the call. If you think about it, even if you give up 3, you're going to an extra with hammer. I know you don't want to do that. You want to win the game right here, but playing a freeze or a draw around, that just sets up the massive end for Englot, where they might even win the game in the 8th end here. You just don't want to look back at an end where you're playing defensively and then just decided to switch gears on this rock.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what they do here. If they play that shot and make it, they probably put themselves in a position to win the game. But if you ever miss it and miss it the wrong way, possibly even, then you have a big problem. But they're going to play it, I think.
Looks like ice, like hack weight kind of ice.
Yeah.
So that's, I mean, I guess I don't mind that.
Oh, yeah, no, I wouldn't have liked playing the draw here at all. I think you had to play, if you're going to play it, you had to play something that was going to move it. So if you touch that front guard, you move the guard in your shooter as well, so that you at least end up no worse off than if you played the peel.
No, you really don't want to hit the guard here at all.
No.
They're on this right away. Okay, she threw pretty good weight.
She's real close. She might feather it, though. We'll see.
Feathers the guard, rolls to the back of the rings. Not a terrible result. Okay, so you basically got the peel.
Yeah, exactly.
Now, Stephanie Schmidt's going to have to make a double, or else we're going to extra ends.
For board weight on this shot. Hit this and roll where, Roy? Just foot to the right on the overhead shot, maybe?
Yeah, I think so. Even dead nose isn't bad.
No, not bad, but I think the doubles there with dead nose a little easier than the other double, maybe. I don't know. We'll see. Need to stay, first of all.
They're going to let this curl up. You're going to roll your half rock, Jim, and
yeah,
looking pretty good.
Yeah, you'd have to throw it pretty hard to make the back two.
So two options here. You could take on the double that exists, or you could roll to a spot that's going to give you a really good chance of the opponent having stones grouped together and make your next double easier.
Yeah, I agree. I think you hit this high one and roll in that direction. And like you say, with a little luck, you get one of the doubles. And if not, you land in front of a rock somewhere to make it tough and set up your next shot.
What I really don't like here is rolling clean out of the rings and allowing Kerri to place her next one wherever she chooses.
No. So Stephanie Schmidt, 4-stone thrower for Team Englot in the act for her first of 2 here in the 8th. Looking for a way to prevent having to go an extra end. It's hard not to get caught in between on this shot. This is going to be close to a nose hit. Like a little bit of a roll, not quite there.
Not very good.
No, you really wanted to roll somewhere. You had a lot of feet to roll to, so it would have been good to get a roll at least. Even if you roll edge of the forefoot on the other side, and Kerri has to be a little careful with it and ends up setting you up for a little easier double here. She can make this shot and roll a little bit outside, or even maybe not even roll at all. You're going to have a tough double.
You just feel like with the game on the line like this, like Kerri is not going to make a mistake. It's going to come down to whether Stephanie can make this double or not.
Yeah, she's not going to get the outside roll, I don't think, but she might. Will she hang on?
Rolls all the way over.
And almost out. Holy cow.
So
she did that. You know, she threw that exactly the same as the one earlier in the game that we talked about, Roy, where she just set that out a little bit on the release, and it was
absolutely
questionable whether or not you're going to get it back. She's lucky that she didn't roll out.
All right, high side for the win. You hit this really anywhere higher than an inch of nose, and both those reds go.
Yeah,
it's a bit out there, so a wider slide than normal, but this is, I think we could call routine double takeout.
Yeah. So Stephanie Schmidt with a hit for the win, double for the win. I shouldn't say hit for the win. She does have to make some contact with the back one. But a great opportunity to start this event 2-0.
Big shot for a massive victory over a top 10 opponent, top 5 in the world ranked. Looking a little outside, and oh my goodness, Jim, did she pitch this?
She probably did, yeah.
Just barely makes contact with the top one. It's going to leave 2 reds in the rings. That means open draw for an extra end.
Open draw for an extra end for Kerri Einarson. Boy, that was pretty scary. For a couple seconds there, it almost looked like she might not make contact. Or we just lost our feet a little tiny bit there, but it was staying out there pretty good. But
yeah, I bet she was an inch and a half from flashing the whole thing.
Yeah. So I don't know if it's just a question they haven't quite got a read on the ice out there. She just threw it a little bit poorly because, as you mentioned, pretty routine shot. Really, it's just a nose, just off nose shot, and even nose is better than that. Nose or a little inside is better than rolling out. So not going to be any easier in the next round probably, but let's see if we get there first. Kerri Einarson drawing the 12-foot. Trying to hit the paint, as they say, for 3 points here in the 8th end.
Makes no mistake. Open paint, nails it.
And Einarson picks up 3 here in the final end with really almost no guards for most of the end, but had one little guarded one rock. But we will go to an extra end here in our coverage of the game in between Einarson and Englot at the RBC RBC Dominion Securities Western Showdown. Lost too many words in my mouth. We'll take a brief break and be back for the extra end.
Handcrafted in Canada, Hardline's ice pad has revolutionized curling for over a decade. Engineered with top-tier precision and durability, it is backed by an unmatched 10-year warranty. Designed for curlers at all levels to sweep effortlessly with maximum efficiency, it is trusted by the world's best curlers, including Olympic and world champions. It is quite simply the best brew in the game. Hardline. Join the revolution.
So we're back for the extra end between Michelle Englot and Kerri Einarson. Einarson with hammer in the extra end after giving up a 3 here in the 8th, and we almost ran out of room on the scoreboard to keep playing. I don't know what happened then, Roy, but they just tell us you're done? You don't get to play anymore? Maybe. 9-9 on the scoreboard that really can accommodate, 11. I guess they've just stretched the names out a little bit further, so still have a couple more ends to go.
Yeah, we did have a lot of points scored, but that does seem like
it's been fun that way for sure. So Einarson's got the guard up. First shot from Kristen Karwicki. Nice spot right on the center line. We'll look at throwing a center guard up now, or second guard up now. I think. Well, maybe not. So I'm not quite sure, but I'd be pretty surprised if this rock comes in the house. Or if they're playing this rock in the house anyways.
Yeah, with that ice, you got to think that's a high guard.
I think so too, but she just sort of tapped in a weird place. Maybe she was just chatting. It's definitely going high because she's up there now.
Yeah, I got more views than everybody else, and so I've got a bit of an advantage. I can see where she's signaling to when we're looking at the hack.
Okay. So a couple of great shots here to start this end for Karwicki.
That's a great pair of guards.
Yeah, perfect line, both on the center line, one high, one low. That's just the way you draw it up. In the meantime, though, Englot does have a rock biting the top of the button, and we'll be trying to put another one right on top of it here. Shell Englot, showing why she was a great skip for a lot of years. Throws 2 perfect ones here in the extra end. Great 4th rock thrower she was, I guess. Now she's still a skip. I think. Some people debate all that. Coming in now for Einarson. Shannon Burchard.
Well, you can tell the other games have ended, Jim, because we got 1,100 viewers with us. Thank you so much for tuning in. I love how many views this event gets. I think it's just the perfect time in the season. It's mid-December. There's no more slams for the rest of the year. Everyone knows Christmas is coming up. It's kind of just one last hurrah, a big event in Western Canada with great ice, great teams, excellent facility, and a really fun town in Swift Current. I know people might be tempted in thinking, oh, all those small prairie cities and towns are the same. I don't know. Swift Current's got something special going on. Really good restaurants, a healthy downtown, lots of cool businesses to check out. And the weather's honest. It's a little bit warmer than the rest of the province, just that much more south and close to the mountains. So if you ever get a chance, check out Swift Current. It's a great place to spend a few days.
That was our, what is it? The PS public service announcement for the city of St. Swift Current. And a good one, too, I think. A really good one. I've never been to Swift Current. And I haven't spent much time in Saskatchewan. I've been to Saskatoon a couple of times for different things, and that's about it. That's my extent of my knowledge of Saskatchewan. So,
no, great place and a good curling club. Fun little town. Lucky's Pool Hall on a Thursday night. That's where I'd be going.
Oh boy. So Burchard now playing a little bit of a tap. Trying to maybe just get this rock. I don't know if she's trying to remove it or just try to get it back behind the tee line somewhere that they might be able to use it after. I would think that'd be the more likely option. Ooh. Well, without hammer, guards are not usually going to be a problem, but that didn't help.
Yeah, that's the problem with trying to steal or an extra end scenario. There's no forgiveness. You miss one shot and you're kind of hooped.
Yeah.
So missing inside there or light wasn't really an option. It's just the degree of difficulty goes way up for the team trying to push the issue, and that's what we just saw.
Yeah, I said a couple days ago, forgiving Shannon a little bit because she probably hasn't played a whole lot of games since she's been back from injury, but.
So kind of interesting there. They went for the double peel. I'm not exactly sure I would have done the same. I feel like taking the center one off was much more valuable there because now they've stuck their yellow rock in actually a pretty bad spot.
Yeah, I think I agree with you. Instinctively, you would have thought your first reaction would be like, okay, let's make the double peel. But you think that out a little bit further. And as you say, yes, it's your rock out there now, but it is much better than either one of those other two we're going to end up if you just peeled one of them.
Now, to be fair, she missed her spot. I think they're trying to get it thinner and get the double peel and kind of roll the yellow one into the rings and a little more to the wing. But still, you're creating a higher degree of difficulty for a shot where there's really only one problem rock. And there's two problem rocks, but one's really the issue, and that's the center guard. So taking a look at the overhead here, you are shot 2. Yellow is shot 2. The one that's buried, it's going to take some work to replace with a red. It looks like Einarson's going to try and take that on sooner than later. That's what they're lining up anyway. But there's 2 key shots that need to happen for Team Einarson. One, they need to go bump on that red-yellow at some point if they want to replace that. And the second thing they need to do is just get shot rock in the button-ish area. So it looks like they're going to attack the button right now. They've decided their guarding time is over and that they need to make something happen in the scoring area right now on Val's first stone.
So Val Swiding throwing third stones for Kerri Einarson. This is Al's first rock here in the extra end. Left-hander throwing her in turn.
See if we get any of that left-hand snap as this comes in.
It's definitely curling a lot.
There's the snap. That got almost completely buried with only 2 feet of room, Jim.
Yeah, that's wild. Yeah, that's a great finish. I didn't expect that to happen for sure. You sort of see a little bit of the problem that we discussed just a minute ago, what you created by playing that double peel where, yeah, you've got the run back here, and if you make it, it's great, but you didn't necessarily have to have quite this hard of a shot.
This is an absolutely massive shot for Sarah. If she can make 4 rocks move here, it's going to go a long way to clearing the way for Stephanie Schmidt's last rock.
And she's close.
Bang, bang, bang. 4 rocks move. That is excellent.
Excellent shot. Guard's still there for Einarson. That's the one thing about it.
It is, but just exchanging those angles now so early in the end is just massive. There's still 3 rocks left to clean up, or 2 rocks to clean up, and then 1 to win the game for Team Englot. That's just a huge shot at a huge time for Sarah.
Oh, agreed, yeah. So Val Swiding going to be looking to promote the red one a little bit. Sigur's just watching it mostly at this point, so let's be close. Needs to curl a little bit more, I think. It's a good shot. It's quite good.
Yeah, it's the result for what they had. Pretty darn good. Geez, they're going to send the guard again.
Yeah.
I'd be tempted to deal with that red one right now. It's in just such a good spot in the top of the button. And Einarson's really only going to have to guard it 3 more times.
Yeah, I'd be on the same page. I think, Roy. I'm thinking that, I know she just made one of these, but she's not going to make that one.
Really close. And
yeah.
She just threw down that path. I understand the call. It's not the wrong call by any means. Now that guard's going to become red, and you got to hope you make one of those run backs over. You don't want to leave Stephanie Schmidt that run back for the win.
No, and it's going to be red, and it's going to be better. Like the last time was a good guard, but not a great guard. It wasn't certainly guarding this rock 100%. So. So Einarson now with first rock here in the 8th end, showing basically a center guard. Here we go. Line's probably more important here than the length of the guard, to be honest, other than you don't want to be way out by the hob line, but need it to curl. I don't think that's going to be enough. I think Stephanie Schmidt's going to have a pretty good shot at that one, and she will. She could probably see half of it at least from the other end, from the right-hand hack, or the right-hand thrower's hack. Stephanie Schmidt with a chance to pick this one out. Einarson will still have something to work with. She'll have the center guard. Depending on what happens with this shot, she might be throwing another guard yet, but for now, let's assume she's going to probably have to come right around. So looking to remove the red shot rock. Sweeper trying to hold it out there. Gonna have to go hard. Should be good. Gonna get it out clean, I think. It does.
Just a miss on that guard.
Yeah. So Einarson looking at a couple of things here. She could come just straight around the guard. And no picture to look at. Anyway, Einarson looking at whether or not to come just straight around the guard. So it's basically a straight draw. Like the button behind the guard. Play a little hit and a roll, although I don't. Time it's all done. Kerri Einarson's final rock here in the 9th end. In her first game here at the RBC Dominion Securities event in Swift Current. Looking for a hit and a little bit of a roll. This one's going to have to curl. Not quite sure what the weight is here yet, so may have to curl or may not. Now they're trying to hold it a little bit straighter, so it's going to be close, I think, to being good. And doesn't quite get the roll.
No, so doesn't quite get the roll.
No. So Stephanie Schmidt, nose hit for the win.
Geez, I was wondering if we would. I know the absolute perfect place is to roll kind of on the low side of center line there. I was wondering if we would have saw like a draw tap kind of shot. Just leave the pocket, let Steph draw.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought she might have drawn. I know she loves to hit, but without a perfect roll, you either got to get a perfect roll to that spot or draw to that spot. And I don't know. A lot of people would have drawn, let me put it that way, in that situation, but a lot probably would have hit as well. You got to be careful with this. You get this one out a little bit and you don't win the game because if you hit yours at all, Einarson's going to have shot rock in the 8 foot. Just nice, smooth, just reasonable weight. You should be fine. You don't have any room to be outside, though.
No, your shooter. You got to have it in your mind that your shooter is going to be the rock that counts.
Yeah. So Schmidt's on her way.
Looks outside, Jim.
Yeah, it does look wide from here. She's definitely going to be wide. If she's light enough, she might be okay. Will it get there? I think it might. It's close.
I can see them staring at the 4 foot. A huge sweep by Sarah, I think, got it there.
I think you're definitely right. You can see the end result there. So Stephanie Schmidt owes the sweepers a dinner after this, I think. And she does make this one, Ryan. So this is certainly a back and forth affair. Not
really fun game, Jim. Yeah, what a wild game. Got up to a 9-9 tie.
Yeah,
I'd be happy with that.
Yeah. So anyway, we'll conclude this one. There'll be lots more draws coming to you here on Curling Stadium. Be sure to watch and be sure to like and subscribe to our channel as well on YouTube. That helps us out a lot. And we'll work hard to get our little glitches out. And on behalf of Rory McCusker and Kaylee and Jerry and everybody working behind the scenes to try to make sure that you get the best production we can give you. We'll say goodbye from now from the RBC Dominion Securities Western Showdown here in Swift Current, Saskatchewan, and we'll be back for the next draw.
Handcrafted in Canada, Hardline's ice pad has revolutionized curling for over a decade. Engineered with top-tier precision and durability, it is backed by an unmatched 10-year warranty. Designed for curlers at all levels to sweep effortlessly with maximum efficiency, it is trusted by the world's best curlers, including Olympic and world champions. It is quite simply the best brew in the game. Hardline. Join the revolution.